Jeez.
You like it or what?
I love it.
You love it? Let's do it, man. All right, here we go, pulling off the track wrap.
That is quite satisfying.
How good is this PPF job?
Well, we're gonna make it a little less invisible than it is now.
Okay.
Hey, you didn't do a bad job, man. I mean, you got all the coverage on there.
Got all the coverage.
That's all that mattered. On track tape stuff, all that matters is you get enough on. Because a lot of people just do little patches of it, then you get everything in between.
Well, in some areas, it's double layered.
Yeah.
So it's doing the extra.
Yeah, so we're gonna make a little bit of a mess, but
this is like unwrapping something on Christmas Day.
A little bit before Thanksgiving.
So overall, first impressions though.
I love it. So I am not a Corvette person. I like the C8, but I wouldn't own one. That's just not, I don't see myself in one.
Okie dokie.
I see myself in a Z06. The powertrain makes it amazing. The carbon fiber wheels have it look incredible. I think the body's just being more aggressive looks cool. It is considerably wider in the rear. I can't believe how much wider it is in the back. We got a normal C8 up front, and this rear quarter panel is like, it feels like 3 or 4 inches wider. It's nuts.
The cooling with it, oh my, I cannot wait to test this thing out. But you know what, let me go and start pulling off more pieces slowly and gently, and let's do a, maybe like a damage assessment? Or
we'll assess everything, see if everything made it through. I think this stuff did its job pretty well, and
it looks clean underneath on that panel. Let's finish this off. I'm following what you guys say, PPF. I feel like you peel down.
Yeah, so you peel down and away. So instead of rolling over, peel down and away.
Everyone was ripping on me saying you shouldn't do this with the front end of the car. It looks
what were their,
now
it looks bad, yeah, but like, not your car, and I guarantee if anyone else was driving at 3,000 miles across the country the long way around, I'm sure they would have done some protective film as well. This car is extremely rare. I've yet to see one including like a GM press car. Did it look crummy? Sure. But it also looks nice once it's all off and we can get it protected properly.
Hey, this paint hasn't seen anything for 3,000 miles. So that's the beauty. It works. First glimpse of the carbon fiber, Kevin. What are your thoughts?
Carbon fiber looks great. It's got a little bit of like a reddish hue to it. Some of that might be the paint reflecting a little bit, but I don't think so, because we've seen Cadillac CT4 and CT5V black wings, and those have a little bit of a reddish hue in the carbon. I don't know if it's intentional or if that's just how GM's carbon has been as of late, but with a red car, I think it matches super well.
What do you think of how in-depth the coverage is? I mean, double layered, triple layered.
If you're gonna spend the time to put track wrap on, do it right. Which you did. I mean, you did 3,000 miles across the country, so to spend the time to actually get full coverage on here was definitely worth it.
I know it hasn't looked the prettiest for a good while.
It looked a little ugly.
Finally!
But it's protected and it looks really pretty once it's off, so we can get it protected properly with some S-Tech Dyno Shield paint protection film to where it's going to be invisible, but still have the same amount of protection where you've got 8 mils of thickness to stop rock chips and all that track stuff. So
let's go ahead and finish this unwrapping and then see how it looks.
Yeah.
So check this out. Look at all the rocks fall underneath that get picked up next to this exit vent. Look how many rocks are in there. That's so crazy. But I think it did a pretty good job, right? Protecting it?
I think it did. I mean, it doesn't look like anything went through on the other side.
Wow. So it's definitely worth the while.
Yeah. It did its job. It's all this through here.
So this is definitely an area of coverage. So you got to make sure it's done.
Yeah.
These types of vehicles.
Pretty immediately, actually, because it's on the Cup 2Rs. It just throws everything back there.
Jeez.
So that's the panel.
Yep. You see those screws right there?
For light sway. So you take those off, and then this whole strip comes off.
Yep.
Let's go take a look.
Then you have maximum cooling on that. What's interesting is that when I did the media drive, I don't think they had this opened up. So this is for the hot track days where you get maximum airflow. But this is so cool how they do this. Look how clean it looks all around. Let me know, what do you guys think in the comment section down below. Yes, all the wrapping paper is off my amazing PPF that I'm so good at. Finally just removed it, and wow, insane. You got the right tool for the job.
It's a gigantic bolt. And then I feel it unscrew.
I think it's coming out, yeah.
And it like clicks. There you go. Yeah, so there's
there they are.
Tiny little Torx bits on the ends. And that should open up. Interesting. Well,
wow.
Those are tiny.
Find it, Kevin?
Yeah, what is this? Tiny little T15? Let's see if that's it.
Yeah, I think so, right?
like it.
So what are your thoughts? Is it gonna look pretty clean underneath?
We'll see. Take off these pieces on both sides, right? And so that's just, you take a little plastic pry bar and you pop it off. It's just got little clips there. You'll loosen up these bolts, and then there's a little spot right there. I just use my thumb. And then it pops off. So these, when they're vertical, like so, this kind of honeycomb style grill. So it just grabs onto there. So yeah, it's just held on by these and some little guide clips, and then these top little pries.
So that looks way
a lot cleaner,
aggressive. Oh my gosh!
Cleaner. And then we can just pop these covers back on.
Oh yeah, yeah. You don't want to leave that on.
Yeah.
So this is the main extra radiator that they're talking about for the Z06 versus the C8. Wow, that looks way more aggressive, Kevin. Oh my gosh!
This whole thing, and you get a lot more cooling with that.
Yeah.
It's blocking quite a bit.
Look at that. Night and day difference. That's race car right there. This is how I'm gonna run it all the time.
Yeah, so this, basically, it seems like this only exists for a front plate mount.
You think so?
I believe so, because that's really the only thing that's on there. Maybe there's an intention to block a little bit of cooling if it's in like a cold climate or something, but it's got a thermostat, so I don't know why it would
I guess
have to regulate that.
It could up with MPG, right? And for the majority of owners who don't track.
This will have an effect on its aerodynamic.
The drag.
I don't know how much, but I'm sure it's a little bit, I don't know.
That's night and day.
Yeah, it looks a lot better.
Oh my gosh, that's insane. So overall, for a damage assessment, what do you think we've noticed?
You've got some little wash damage, swirls, and scratches, but that's either likely from the factory or just having it prepped before it got to you. You got to remember that a car is painted and then it's assembled and all that stuff. So paint is one of the first things to happen to a car. So I'm not surprised you're going to have some little swirls and scratches on it. It's a very normal thing.
Overall, then, for big rock chips,
you're kind of fine, man. I mean, you did 3,000 miles and you got out scot-free.
Yep, carbon fiber and paint that's never seen any of the road for 3,000 miles. So that's not that bad, but I am hooked on that extra air intake right here in front of me. That looks so much more aggressive. I wonder why they haven't shown that.
We're gonna get the whole thing cleaned up, get it all assessed, and then from there, we're gonna fix any factory defects, swirl marks and stuff. We're gonna get PPF on some of our highest risk impact areas that we're worried about. I know you've got an event this weekend coming up, so I know we're gonna be doing some PPF in the future, but I want to make sure that you've got the car to do content for the audience and show people what's going on with it. And so it's not ideal for me to do it in phases. However, I want to be able to accommodate so you can have your fun with it and make sure that you're enjoying the car and being able to do stuff with it.
For like the impact points, if someone doesn't want to do the whole car right away.
Yeah. So
the main impact.
Definitely you'd want to do the front end of the car. You'd want to get all the carbon covered, doing the mirrors, doing like all this lower carbon, the splitter, doing the lights. And then also doing the rocker panels on the side. So around here, these sticky Cup 2 tires are gonna throw rocks and debris onto this panel really quickly, as well as this kind of rear quarter rocker panel that kind of forms up into here.
How about this down below where it sticks out?
Yeah, that right there is gonna get chewed up, so having protection on this whole panel here. And then also coming to the back, you can already see how much this plastic has taken from these tires, just all these little rocks that stick in here and they fly off. So, but underneath here, there's a painted section underneath here, and that gets chewed up really quick. So thankfully you put some track tape on there to where that took the beating, but otherwise this would be missing paint underneath here based on what I saw. It was absolutely sandblasted. The top priorities are gonna be similar to the normal C8 Stingray. These rear impacts are much more important than the regular C8.
Yeah.
So having those protected as soon as you possibly can, because that's just your own tires doing damage to the car. So
question for you.
Yeah.
Regarding like the side where the intakes are, do you think this would be an impact zone at all?
I think this could be an impact zone. It is higher up and you've got a lot of stuff kind of blocking it from the front tires. However, it is one of these things that, all it takes is one of these rocks to kind of come up a little bit higher, and if it clears here, it's gonna ding here. This isn't super forward facing, so you'd be really, really unlucky to get a chip here, but it's still something to think about.
How about the spoiler?
If you're doing track time, it is going to be much more important to protect the wing than if you're not doing track time, or if you're doing aggressive canyon driving and you're following behind other cars with real sticky tires. If something gets up and over your roof and comes back down here, dinging up this carbon. The problem with carbon fiber is it looks great and it's very functional, but if you chip it up, it's much harder to repair than if you get a little chip in your paint.
Definitely, this ain't no ordinary Corvette anymore. This is...
It's a special looking car. I can't believe how much wider it looks than a normal C8 Stingray. It's a huge difference in terms of road presence.
It looks to me like an actual supercar now. It kind of gives me, I want to say, Aventador vibes with the intakes now.
It's very angular and it's got that,
yeah.
Well, actually, if you look at, what car was it? Was it Aventador SVJ or S or something like that? That I saw that this little aspect here was like kind of control copy, control paste from another car. It's a very, very similar line.
I know what you're talking about.
I think it was SVJ that it's got the same
look. It was
look.
a special edition version,
but I remember when it came out and it was revealed, I was like, boy, that kind of signature boomerang thing looks really similar to another car.
It looks night and day versus the C8 Corvette. I really appreciate all the help so far. Don't let me hanging. Come on, what are you doing? I'm gonna circle back with you guys so we can check up. And
I'm excited to see everything you do with this. I've already seen, you know, weighing the thing and the dyno and stuff, but I'm excited to see what it's like to live with this car because you're gonna use the heck out of this. So I'm really excited to see what life is like with a Z06 with a track pack.
A racing exotic-like motor, an American car, taking down exotic cars maybe. Oh my God, it's gonna be so much fun. But thank you for having it come in and getting protected. It's a special
almost
car.
as cool as my AutoZone.
It's almost as good. But then he sold it.
I did sell it.
You guys know what I'm talking about.
It was not practical at all. It was awful. I didn't fit in the thing.
Right away though, big lesson for all of you. It may not look pretty putting your own temporary PPF film on the front end for a cross-country drive, but it works.
It's worth it. It's definitely worth it. It's ugly at the time, but it sure is pretty when you take it off and the whole front end's not chewed up.
Almost forgot. Three last things.
Yeah.
First off, what do you think about the mirrors?
I think the mirrors are cool. I like having the carbon fiber on there. It is a nice accent to kind of break up because it is. I mean, it sticks out a lot. So having this as a nice accent to tie into the bottom arrow of the car looks nice.
You think it'll be an important part to cover?
Absolutely.
How about like the roof line too?
Yeah, we'll end up doing the roof as well. If you notice in the light, you can kind of see the lights look kind of foggy or hazy. So that's just some factory polishing that just wasn't like brought down to a really fine polish. So we'll get that all glossed up and looking a lot better for you as well. So.
And then the last thing, the third thing I was thinking about.
Yeah.
Do you have any tips for this interior when it comes to the carbon fiber?
So carbon fiber,
if I open it,
like the roof is a little foggy. So we will go ahead, we're gonna use like a little 1-inch polisher and go through and polish the carbon fiber up just to add some gloss and shine to it. And then we'll also end up ceramic coating it. So it's gonna have some UV protection. So it doesn't, you know, I don't know if you've ever seen the carbon fiber that gets all faded and stuff. So we don't want that to happen. So we'll add some ceramic coating to that. It'll also make it slicker and just easier to clean in general. And then the other thing is you have so much Alcantara in here. Carrying like a nice fabric or a leather cleaner with you, just to kind of keep it refreshed is
I agree on that one.
Especially with the amount of track time you're doing. We'll set you up with a bottle of that so you can just keep it refreshed and easy to clean.
Well, you know what? This is not a cheap car. It's a pricey car, but it's a special car.
It is
People
special.
want it, and this is what you got to do when you get a special car that you feel attached to. You got to get protected, just like many of the cars here today.
Yeah,
right?
so I mean, it depends on, if you're gonna just sit it in your garage and do nothing with it, then maybe not. But I'd say for the vast majority of people, protecting it, keeping the car as nice as you can for yourself, as well as an investment of cars like this, you know, they are in very high demand. Making sure that if you do sell it, it's something that you're giving someone else a really nice condition car is important. So yeah, I'm glad you're doing the right thing.
Awesome. I'm
excited to see when it's all done. I'm excited to see what you do.
Well, you're gonna see the transformation. We're all gonna see the transformation. That's gonna be the best part about it. Awesome. Wow, really like the Type S NSX that you've got in here. This looks absolutely crazy. First one I've really seen. I'm getting PPF'd here, but
yeah, so this is chassis 139. This is Long Beach Blue, which I think is a really cool color.
I like that name.
Very, very, very small, fine metallic in the paint. And then it's got the red interior and stuff. So yeah, it's a really special car. I love the styling of it. It's definitely something that if you get in it, you could probably daily drive this thing, no problem.
You think so? I've always been a fan of the NSX, and I think this one, with all the carbon fiber below, you can see where Chevy got all the ideas, right? Of all the exposed carbon fiber pieces and the wheels.
It does have some similar lines up front in terms of the angles it's got and stuff. This is a very angular car, like the C8.
Wow, yeah, this is a special thing, and it's gonna be sad seeing them go, but I don't know, I'll be honest with you, seeing the Z06 next to it, the Z06 looks like it fits in the same family as these supercars. Like the Lamborghini?
Chevy's done a really good job with making this thing look and feel a lot more exotic. The engine is the gem of that car for sure. But yeah, seeing that thing drive down the road, it's got a lot more road presence than a normal Stingray.
I think what differentiates it a lot with the exotics too though is that looking at it, is that it's got the American track racer vibe of having the big dive plants, a big spoiler out back, you know? It's purposeful with that in mind. It's not trying to hide anything by being sleek. It's, you know, look at me.
Yeah, where a lot of these newer supercars have all their aerodynamics hidden away with little kind of hidden ducts and stuff to where it's something that you don't really notice the aerodynamics going on. And Chevy just said, screw that, we're gonna do everything's exposed. You're gonna see all the air that's moving around this
no
thing.
joke.
So, yeah.
Here's the key. Be gentle. It's the same key.
Is it the same key? The emblem feels a little different. Very cool. Well, I'm excited. Thanks for trusting in us as always. But
you're the only one. You're the first in the world to PPF a Z06.
That is kind of wild. That's such an early build. I'm very excited.
Everyone's gonna find out what it's like protecting a car this special, the most special Corvette ever made, right?
Yeah, I'm not a Corvette guy. Like I said, I'm not a huge Corvette guy. I do like them, but I wouldn't own one. I love this car. Absolutely love this car.
There you go. That's what I want to hear. Looking good, Kevin.
Thanks. Yeah, if you can't leave a shop, you have the barber has to come to you, I guess.
So you are doing hair and makeup for the video.
I got to do hair and makeup before the video. It was a little late this time, you know. Yeah, I'm far overdue for a haircut. So. But I need it, and I can't leave. So.
Oh my gosh! Alrighty, I'll catch up with you later, dude. Shout out to Elite Finish. Stay tuned for more coverage on the entire install. It's gonna be a ton of fun, and yeah, we're doing things right, protecting the most special Corvette ever made, in my opinion. It's definitely the most expensive one. So, anyways, thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button to help me out, and subscribe for much more great content coming at your way. I'll see all of you in the next episode.